Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be a tutorial on GnuRadio, and in this video we're going to learn how to generate FM and phase modulation using GnuRadio. So this flow graph basically using frequency modulation block, frequency mod block, which is available here, and also using a block called phase modulation block, which is also available here. So you can just simply Google frequency mod. You can find the frequency mod block, or you can just simply type in phase mod. You can use also a phase mod block. This phase mod block will allow me to generate phase modulated signal, analog base, and frequency mod will allow me to generate frequency modulated block. Normally you can achieve that. I also made a video on it. You can achieve that using VCO. I made a video on it, but this one actually taking a use of frequency modulated block that is available in GnuRadio, and in phase modulation block, which is also available in GnuRadio. Let me walk you through with the flow graph. The flow graph is looking quite complex, but it's not actually. First of all, so let's go into the block here. There are a lot of GUI range blocks that I'm using to control my phase deviation and frequency deviation. These are the two major parameters that I need for my frequency mod block and for my phase mod block. I don't need to multiply anything. Just simply have a frequency modulated signal, multiply it by a carrier signal, and that's it. That's all I'm doing. Let me walk you through with the flow graph. Also, I'm using something called virtual source and virtual sync. There is a virtual source block. There is a reason for it. Let me just walk you through with the flow graph. Now, since I'm generating FM and PM in a same block, so let's go here on this diagram first. Now, if you were to look at it, I have a source. I already made a video on selector block. There's two type sources here. One is a signal source. All right. This signal source is giving me a cosine signal, and this is going to be my modulating signal. That's why I'm calling it frequency underscore modulating signal, and I'm multiplying it by 1 kilohertz, which means my automatic scale on your flow graph, when you run the flow graph, you will see about 1 kilohertz of frequency. And then another block that I have is actually amplitude underscore modulating for amplitude. This is actually controlling my signal, and this is being controlled by a Qt GUI range slider. So let me show you both of these sliders here. So this is going to be your frequency modulating block. So this is the frequency modulating block. This will give me the frequency in terms of kilohertz. So whatever that number is. So for example, if I have a default frequency, default value is 1. 1 is being multiplied by 1 times the e to the 3. So it will give me 1 kilohertz, and it can give me up to 3 kilohertz of signal. As you can clearly see it here. Frequency modulating block. This block is being multiplied by 1 times e to the 3, which means it's multiplied by 1 kilohertz. So whatever that number is that number is going to be multiplied by 1000, and this frequency will be in kilohertz. So this is your modulating frequency that is being generated by, and it has a form of a cosine signal. Now if you were to go ahead and look at it here, this is another signal source, but here I'm using a square wave. So I'm using a cosinusoidal wave to show you the behavior with if you have a modulating signal that is in a form of a cosine, and if you have a modulating signal that is in a form of a square wave. Same thing, frequency underscore modulating times 1 raised to the e. Same thing, amplitude modulating signal that is being multiplied by 2 here. And your modulating signal is negative because it's a square wave. That's why I want to have a frequency range that is going from negative to positive value. So both of these, so this is frequency modulating block that is controlling my frequency, and that would give me using a Qt range slider. Then I have my voltages that is being controlled by this amplitude underscore modulating underscore signal, modulating signal amplitude. Value is 1, of course. This is being multiplied by 2, and so you'll get that square wave. So these two blocks are down. Then I'm using a selector switch. So this selector switch will enable me to have a waveform that will have an index called waveform. I can choose it from cosine to square wave in my GUI. And this signal is the output of this is going to a virtual sync. This virtual sync, I am naming it modulating underscore signal. And now this, when you select these two inputs, either cosine or square wave, that is being injected here into your frequency mod block and your frequency phase mod block. That's why I'm using this virtual sync. So it's either I'll have a selector switch. I can either choose cosine, I can either choose square wave, and once I select that, that is being input here as my modulating signal. Once I have my modulating signal in a form of a cosine or a square wave, both of these signals are simultaneously going into a frequency mod block, and the same signal is going simultaneously into frequency mod block and my phase mod block. And of course there's a switch. So using that selector switch, I'll be able to select, do I want to have FM modulated signal with cosine? Do I want to have FM modulated signal with square wave as being my modulating signal being a square wave? Or I can have a cosinusoidal signal for a frequency mod and phase mod. Now after this is going in. If you were to look at it, this is my modulating signal that is being multiplied together by a signal source. This is going to be my carrier signal, and this carrier signal frequency is being controlled by this slider here. So if you were to look at it, frequency times 1 times 1000, this is being controlled by this slider, which I'm calling it a carrier frequency, and this frequency is going from 5 to 30 kilohertz, and your default frequency is 15 kilohertz. Now both of these are multiplied together. Of course this value is in a complex number. I need to convert that into a real value. So complex to real block is just converting that complex number into real number, and then is going into a throttle block, okay, and is going to a rational resampler. You don't need to put it, I just put it there. I want to have sample rate down. I have to change this. So now this rational resampler, what it does, it has an interpolation factor and decimation factor. Up till rational resampler, at this point, your entire flow graph will have a sample rate of 480 kilohertz. Now what this sample rate will do, this rational resampler, after any block that is connected to that rational resampler, it will actually have a decimation factor of 5. So 480 kilohertz divided by 5, 480 divided by 5 would give me 96 kilohertz. It's going to be the frequency because it's decimated. Whatever the sample rate is, now it's going to be decimated to that value. So I have to divide this by 5 because this is going to be the new sample rate at 96 kilohertz. Why? Because the decimation factor is 5, and this is going into a QT GUI sync. So you're seeing the modulated output at your frequency sync. You're also seeing that in a time sync as well. So now if you were to look at it, so this is your modulated output. The same modulated output is also going to your QT GUI time sync, and then you will also have a virtual source, so you can visualize what is your input signal was. Either was it a cosine signal or was it a square signal. And that's the idea behind this flow graph. Now let's just quickly go into a frequency mod block. Now if you were to look at it, frequency mod block has a value, only one value. This has a value of sensitivity. And what is that sensitivity? Just by clicking, going to a documentation of this. So just simply go here, go to documentation. And if you were to look at the documentation of this, I think I already have open here. Alright, so the documentation for sensitivity is actually 2 times pi times deviation, whatever your deviation that you're setting, divided by sample rate. And for common value for frequency deviation is 5 kilohertz. That's why I've chosen this to have a default value of 5 kilohertz, and you can go up to 75 kilohertz for wideband FM. Alright, so this is what this value is. So you have 2 times 3.10, 2 times pi, and then you have your frequency depth value. This frequency depth value is being controlled by this particular slider, and that has a default range of what? 5, and it's going from 0.1 all the way up to 10. That particular number is going to 10. So the value of this frequency deviation is generally kilohertz per volts. This is how much is going to deviate from its origin. and this is what is being called here. So you have, based on the block that you normally see, so 2 times and then sample rate divided by sample rate. So 2 times pi frequency dev, whatever that value is as per the GUI slider. So the default value is 5 divided by sample rate times it by 1000. This is the value that you will get. Now if you were to look at your phase modulation, phase mod block, this is also being 1 times phase dev. So if you were to look at it, what is your phase dev? There is a change with respect to how much phase will change with respect to per volt. So the default value is 5 and it's going from 0.1 all the way up to 10. So everything is going to be multiplied by 1. So 5 times 1, this is, so 5 degrees per volt, you can say, or 5 phases per volts, you can say the change that you will see here. That's what it means. So now we have our carrier frequency down. You understood what a virtual source and virtual sink is. Then of course I gotta have a chooser button. There's also, so this, all of this that you see, the range block, the chooser block, the selector block, this is actually constructing a GUI. So you'll be able to change it. You will have some switches, you will have some selector switches. Based on those selector switches, you can choose what type of modulation you want, what type of a modulating signal you want, and how does the output, how does your output looks like once you run this flow graph. So if I were to run this flow graph, this is how beautiful it's looking. So as you can see, you have a frequency deviation block. So you'll have a drop down value for this. You will have phase deviation. This is being called using those GUI range slider. You can change this on one time. You'll have a selector switch for your modulation. So if you want to choose FM modulation, so right now default value is FM modulation. I'm sorry, I move this here, this over here. So this is your FM modulation, and you can choose this to have a phase modulation. You can choose this. You see this is your modulating signal square wave. You can choose this to have a sine signal, and you can choose your modulating frequency, modulating signal. You can choose the amplitude of that signal. If you want, you can reduce the amplitude. This modulating part is actually changing the frequency of the red one, and based on that effect, you will see the effect on your modulation. So right now there's nothing happening. So let's leave this to 1, and let's leave this to 1000, 1 kilohertz. Right, and this is your frequency in terms of kilohertz range. So let me just increase this and let me show you what's happening. Now as you can clearly see right here in FM modulation, if I have a sine wave, you'll see that frequency is expanding and shrinking, and I can manipulate this by using frequency deviation blocks. You can clearly see that you have a change with respect to as the frequency deviation changes, and if you just have to just look at it yourself, you will see that there is high frequency and there are low frequencies associated with that. This is with respect to analog. Now when you change this to square wave, you will exactly see the same thing. At negative frequency you will have high frequency, and then at higher frequency, when you have 1, you will see expansion, and it could be vice versa, it doesn't matter. The second thing is phase modulation. Let's look at phase modulation. You can clearly see in a square wave, you will see a change in phase. Now when you have phase modulation selected, this will not do anything because you have to make changes here. So you can see a change in phase clearly here. You can see a change in phase in your waveform. You can clearly see it in a square wave, but when you select sine wave, it's hard to actually see unless and until you try to increase the frequency and try to increase the modulating frequency, and so then you will start seeing that there is a phase difference. But in the square wave, is clearly to see that there is a change in phase when the transition is happening. Either is going from high to low, low to high, and so on. So that's the basic idea. This is how you can easily generate FM and PM modulation using your GnuRadio. And if you guys have any questions, just leave it in the comment section. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And thanks for watching.